I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. 5, 4, 3. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all going to die soon, and there's no sequel. So, yeah, remember that.
From your mother's basement, this is the UW Pod Awards. Tonight features our nominations for this year in Pro Wrestling 2022. Now put your hands together and welcome your hosts, Nick and that bad man, Juicy Keith. Yes, welcome to the first UW Pod Awards. Keith, what's good, man? Long time no see.
Lord.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. That was pro as fuck. That got me so jazzed. That got me even more jacked than I already was. This is gonna be sick.
Yeah. So UW Pod Awards, we're gonna review the year of 2022, not just WWE, not just AEW, but professional wrestling in that year. And it's going to be fun. There's a lot of things we forget, and we're going to go through them, obviously, throughout the award ceremony. But what's good? You ready to go? You want to get this on the road?
I am. I think you hit it on the head there, man. It's really crazy, like how much wrestling happens in a year. Like for a lot of these things we were going through here tonight, I had to like go back and watch stuff and like look at it, like, did that happen this year? Was that like the end of 2021? And like, just wild. It's been a hell of a year for wrestling, both good and bad.
Good and bad. Yes. I think that's what we'll discuss as well, but let's get it going, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. So the first award today is best. No, this is yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you got it.
Best and worst promos of the year. A lot to pick, but let's start with you, Keith. You give me your best promo, and then we can just go through the year of promos, best and worst. So, what do you want to start with? Best?
Yeah, we can go with best.
All right,
we'll start with
let's
best
hear
here.
it, brother.
So my best. I mean, I had starting with what was freshest in the mind. It was that Ricky Starks promo, off between Ricky Starks and MJF. I had honestly had a really tough time after rewatching it again today. I almost messaged you to switch it up, but I had a really tough time picking between if I preferred it being Ricky over MJF, but it was Ricky. It was really just Ricky's time to shine. It was the
passion.
Absolutely. I love Ricky. I'm a big Ricky Starks fan. Have been since Power or NWA Power. I mean, he was a little bland, just being a weird baby face on there. But I love the guy. The talent's been there. But like everything leading up to this, he's been fine. Yeah. He's been fine on the mic. But this was the first one that just like, like spoiler alert, like this is not the last time I talk about him at all tonight with different things. But yeah, that was for me, that was the best promo. Which is crazy in a year where Punk came back to wrestling and had a promo off with MJF. And I still was just like, no, I like this better.
I mean, just talking about MJF, himself, that is a promo machine all 2022. Right. I mean, he wasn't on screen most of the year, but still, when he was there, it was just phenomenal. Keith, let's take a look at it.
I live with respect. You know nothing about that. When I lived in my car in South Austin, guess what I was doing? I was grinding. I knew the responsibility of taking care of.
It's short and sweet. We do not want to get a copyright strike.
No.
But you could just feel the passion. You could just feel that, he's been doing this. What did he say? 13 years. for 11 years. And it was just like, this is what I wanted. The match did not deliver, but we're not talking about matches. We're talking about best and worst promos of the year. That is your best. Let me get to my best.
Yes, please.
Any last words? I saw.
So no, I think the reason, because I feel like there's a lot of people that'll probably just be like, you're an asshole, like you're an idiot for thinking that. But the thing is, for me, was just like, again, like I didn't watch it live that night, but I saw the clip right away of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. Just rewatched like the full recorded episode today to watch it again. And it's just like, I think it's just this like perfect mix of like, it's a Rock promo, like an old school, like the Rock promo, which is funny because the whole Pebble thing goes on with it and everything. But it's very the Rock. But then that clip you just showed there is also like, it to me, like gets into almost like the Dusty Rhodes Hard Times, like kind of promo too.
Keith,
like just
reality. When
like,
you can feel it like that. When you're sitting on the couch and you can feel it, it's just the reality. I say it all the time. Reality is best for pro wrestling. And that's what it's a good segue into my best promo of 2022. And this is kind of, I think everybody has this on their list. But yes. And again, reality-based wrestling is my favorite, is in my opinion, the best kind of wrestling. You can see it. I don't know what happened backstage. I don't know what happened with AEW, the execs, and Tony Khan, but Cody returned to the WWE, and that's another award that we'll get to. But he returned, and that again, passion. That's what I want. That's what we got there. I mean, let's hear it. What do you got? Because we were talking back and forth. That was going to be your 1A, 1B, 1C. But of course, I mean, 2022. The passion, the promo, it's there. Let's hear it, brother.
No, I mean, you kind of nailed it there. Like I keep saying, it was, this was a prime example for me of like, what we were just talking about to start off here, that like 2022 has been a fucking hell of a year for wrestling, especially in promos. Now, listen, as we're going to go through this, I'm going to say this over and over again. There were a lot of these that were like really tough for me to nail down. I had like talked to you yesterday about specifically like best whatever. One of them we're going to get to. I was like, it was tough for me to even get to like 5 to then pick from those 5 for. And I feel even looking at that list of 5 again, I'm just like, oh, you idiot. There's like a million you forgot. Like it's crazy. And this to me was a great promo. Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, that just that hard, speaking of hard times, I mean, fucking Dusty's kid,
and but it was just like, the dirt sheets, ignore the backstage. Go ahead. I cut you off.
No, it's all right. It was just like, it's just, again, like in a year where Punk is back and had a promo off with MJF, and I guess Eddie Kingston was last. No, Punk might have been last year too. I don't.
Yeah,
time is a flat circle. Who knows? Like in a year where like Punk was going hard on promos, and the media scrum happened and all this kind of stuff. Like just that, it's awesome to me that neither one of us had anything to say about Punk with that. It's like surprising.
Yeah, well, I think that's why we didn't bring up
that. Yep. Yeah, the Cody one was just like I was saying. It's just like. This year has been so good with so much stuff that I kind of forgot that one even happened. And as soon as you hit play and I saw the microphone, I was like, oh, you idiot. Like, of course. Yeah. Oh, my God. Crushed it.
What's up, Pro? Timmy, Ivan. What's good in the hood?
Happening, boys. Got to bring the suits out. It's an award ceremony.
This is the fun part about this. Yes, we could talk about the best promos, but the worst. It's there. Let's get to it. Let's get to yours first. We're going to watch it, and then you can discuss it. Here we go.
Folks, where's the lie?
I mean, just Keith, just listen to the crowd itself. It's just like crickets. Like, what do you do?
I have never in my fucking life heard a wrestling crowd that silent. We went to MLW a couple of weeks ago. That place was not packed. That is not a big venue. And it was still consistently, even with people shuffling in, was infinitely louder than that crowd there. That was why it won it for me. It was just like, man, if you'd have just kept your damn mouth shut and did your damn thing like you were supposed to do, did your job in AEW, and did the thing the right way with everything, and didn't piss off the guy that they just brought back with all this fanfare, you could still have a pretty cozy job and not have to say a goddamn word and just kick people's asses like you're supposed to, Bobby. And instead, you decided to go to Impact thinking you're going to be this big bad man because you're the man coming from AEW over to there. And then you go, folks, where's the lie? And you could hear a fucking cotton ball hit the floor with how little anybody cares about what he has to say.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the head right there. I mean, yes, you could say he's a really good technical wrestler.
Yeah.
But when it comes to promos, when it comes to, being a superstar, being a wrestler, level up 10, 20, 30, you know how it is. They say it's like, 100% of your actual personal life is your professional wrestling gimmick. But that's here or there. He was with Cole. He was with, O'Reilly. He was with the groups, the factions, and it shows. But you know what? It wasn't a great promo, and I don't even know what he was talking about. Was it?
I don't either.
Lies?
I honestly don't either. It was literally just I just remember when we started putting this list together and we talked about worst promo. This was the first one that popped into my mind, followed quickly by what I'm pretty sure is your nomination, which we're going to go up with. Yes,
sir. I think it's
I went with this one because I went with this one, I think, because I feel like it might have been a little bit less well known, and because just of all the nonsense with Bobby Fish.
Well, let's get to it.
You raised the problem. You are a part of the problem.
Everybody's blaming Albany tonight. It's not the best.
All of you.
Copyright? No, sir. It was just bad. I understand what she was trying to do and what she was trying to say. She was trying to bring her family in that has a long history, but it just didn't connect with the fans. It didn't connect with the people at home. It just didn't connect with me, and it was kind of embarrassing. And then it's not just that; it's the whole thing with Rosa, is it? Yeah, Thunder Rosa.
Yep.
And the matches and the botch and it just wasn't it for me. Again, it's not what you want to see. What did you think? I mean, that was on the list of 2022.
That was my second. That's the one I was in between. Because it's even, I know we don't want to get hit with the copyright and everything like that, but I think in that promo, that's the one where she goes on toward the end. She's just like, "You don't know me.
She's kicking.
You don't know me. You don't know me." Like, oof.
Yeah.
Like there's I like you said, I get where she was going for, but there's like a way to do it. I think one of the biggest issues in wrestling now is like no wrestlers want to like acknowledge where they have weaknesses and just want to like try to fix them, which is admirable in some way. But like, dude, you got her in the ring with Vicky Guerrero, who I'm not going to say is one of the best talkers in history, but she's a pretty good talker as a mouthpiece.
She has the
She
name.
can get heat. Exactly. Yes. So don't make this girl go out there and fucking drown in front of a crowd that are just like those boos that are coming for her aren't like, boo, you're a heel. They're like, boo, shut up, stop, get out.
Yes,
you're killing, you're running. It's too long now. Like you're taking it too long. We don't care. Bring us out someone else who can wrestle and talk or better than you can. Maybe not. I don't think she's a bad wrestler, but
no. Again,
she's not a talker.
Exactly. It's like Fish.
Exactly.
It's just, I don't know. It is what it is. I think she's great in the ring, but at the end of the day, in 2022, that was pretty bad.
Agreed.
Yep. Keith.
They were 1 and 2 on my list, and I'm glad we didn't pick the same one.
Keith, let's get to the next.
Yes.
The next award, the next nomination. Here we go. Yes, sir. The botched moment of the year. I mean, there is a handful in AEW and WWE as well, but these two for us stick out. Keith, let's hear it. What do you got?
So I'm going to go with Big Brad. The way I wrote it was Braun's trip around the ring on his return match. It's he came back. It's his first match when he's doing. I think he's against Gable and Otis interferes, or maybe both of them. Maybe just against Alpha Academy. So. But if you got the clip, by all means,
let's do it. Yep, just odd.
Beautiful.
Just everything is just
beautiful
about that. Yep.
I think it's made so much better. The reason it was my pick is because I think it was made so much better by the fact that like Gable like kind of jumps. I don't know if he was trying to jump out of the way or take it or whatever, but like his like lifts up so it like Gable like almost saves it, where he like tries to make it look like, nope, I got out of the way, but it's like, nah, homie just fell.
Yep.
And it's just great. I love those. I love like the simple kind of botches like that, where it's not even like this major spot. Like that's nothing. Dude has done that spot 100 times just in WWE.
Yep.
I'm going to slide out. I'm going to run all the way around and pow you. And it happens to be his first match, his first real match back in WWE after this big return, and he just eats shit.
Yeah.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
There's not a lot of botches that come to mind. I mean, yes, that one and the one I'm going to get to, but like I did some research. Bobby Lashley, I remember this, had a botched pyro. Obviously, it wasn't his fault. But when he comes out on the stage, whatever that thing is, that was awkward. Obviously, Ronda Rousey stage.
So that was
She say something about the it shouldn't be called the Women's Championship. It should be just the WWE Championship, something like that.
Yeah,
right?
she said like the Women's SmackDown Championship or something instead of the SmackDown Women's Championship. I had her. She was my second place. Was her not taking the bump for Shotzi on the apron? But I was that one. That's like a debatable. Like, wasn't a botch. She just kind of like
And she brought it up too. That
I didn't want to bring up more about Ronda. We bashed on her a lot already.
Yeah, and she did come out with a video that said they didn't plan it or train in the ring before the match. Again, stupid excuse. There should be no issues, no excuses there. Let's get to mine. Here we go.
It could have cost him. CM Punk thinking, Punk shot.
Yes, sir. Not one, but two in the same match. Very odd. Gorgeous. And it's just like Punk. Come on. He goes and he tries it again. And that's just in his DNA. I mean, you can tell in the WWE as well as AEW that he will do something until he gets it right. This time it was just awkward. I don't know what it was, if it was the knee. I know there were some issues then before the match with him jumping into the crowd. It's just, was it before or after?
No, that was after. Well, because that's the match he beats. That's the match he beats Hangman for the title with.
Yeah, and then he
busted. So he fucked it up when he came out like the next night or whatever to celebrate. The next Dynamite he came out and like jumped in the crowd to celebrate and then started limping.
It's just a lot of botches from Punk, and I mean age. It shows. He is a veteran, and
absolutely.
I just thought it was funny. Just at the end of the day, what 2022 brought us with CM Punk. We can go on and say, he's been gone for this many years, and him coming back was phenomenal.
Ring rust and all,
But at the end of the day, seeing that is just, it's funny because it's
hilarious.
Punk. It's Punk.
Well, and I think it's another one, kind of like I was saying with the Strowman one, where like Gable kind of has like a piece of it that kind of makes it better. That one, the clip you showed in particular, that first one when he botches it, is like, it's so much funnier because like he's like upside down over the rope. It's not even there yet, and Shivani's like, buckshot, like he's there for it, and it's like, fuck.
It's awkward. But again, I'll go back to what I said. It's the year of Punk, and it's just like,
absolutely,
after the scrum and all that, it's like, okay, this is pretty funny. He goes to the well too many times. And the crazy thing too is, I mean, you can't change this, but he wins. And it's just like, oh man. Yeah. Because again, reality, it's like, okay, this guy should not be able to win because he failed twice. And it happens, and it's just, history, that is 2022 for us. Yeah. Keith, let's get to the next one.
Let's do it. Let's start the next one. What do we got?
Go. Night, baby! Yes, sir. Favorite match of the year. And these two, if you go and Google 2022 matches of the year, these two are going to be on the list. Keith,
absolutely. Let's
start with you. Let's hear it, brother.
It's the banger. It's the original banger of the banger after banger after banger. Sheamus and Gunther, IC title, Clash the Castle.
Sheamus driving the challenger forward. And every hit.
Yes. the intensity, again, reality at its finest. You believe that. That's why it's on the top of our list this year. And it's on top of many, many, many fans. It's just a match where it's just, the whole event was great.
Absolutely.
That's a big moment.
Sure.
We'll get to the moments of the year, but that's a big moment. Give it to me. What else?
I've made it no secret whatsoever. I am a huge fan of Gunther. I love the guy. I have loved him since he was Walter and was not even in WWE or in NXT UK. He's the best. I'm like one of the few people that I'm super happy for his health and everything, that he got in shape and everything and looks the way he does now. But I loved him when he was kind of just a little bit he was just built like a fucking barrel. I'm never going to say the guy was fat, but when he first came around, he was just built like a tall barrel. And just
he was
him,
a big boy.
You can still Google the pictures of him. I think it's him and Tyler Bate where he does the chop and there is a fucking crater. His hand is in a crater in Bates' chest. I love him. And I'm definitely one of those people that just, like you said, it's the reality. I love all kinds of wrestling. I like nonsense bullshit. I love flippy dippy everything. I really love when it's the perfect hybrid, which I think this match was, of
believable
kind of fighting, but it's a wrestling style fight, but they're hitting each other hard. I love Sheamus too. I was last year when I was doing my thing by myself and on my blog and whatever, I did my own 2021 best of whatever things, and one of my best ofs for last year was the match with Sheamus and Drew. Was it False Count Anywhere? I think it was still in the Thunderdome. I want to say it was.
I was going to say
Backlash, maybe, or Extreme Rules, one of those random ones.
That new Backlash one.
It's amazing. It was still in the Thunderdome. It's so good. They both just look like they're actually hitting each other. Everything Sheamus does looks snug as shit. Everything Gunther now. Everything Gunther does looks snug as shit. I loved it. It's one of those few matches where I was just this is a time where I honestly don't really care who wins.
Yeah.
It would have been cool for Sheamus to win it because the IC title is the only one it doesn't have. That would have been sick. But I was also totally happy with Gunther keeping it because I have my own plans that I want Gunther to just hold that forever until he eventually decides to give it up so he can go for the heavyweight stuff. But
and
either way, it was just brutal. Lovely.
Listen to how you sound when you talk about a match like that. It's unpredictable. You cannot predict this match. That's what we got there. At the end of the day, you can say, Gunther's reign would be too short if Sheamus, won the title. But we're talking about the Roman and Drew match too. That was unbelievable. You really thought Hometown Kid is going to win. And that's what we got here with that. Yeah. Let's get to my match. I was there live. Let's watch a little of it and then we'll get to it. Yes, sir. I was there live. It was the first time the podcast boys met up. Danny boy, I can go on and on. But we got a hotel in Chicago and we stayed for the weekend. And that was the match of the night. And for me, the match of the year. Just phenomenal. Because as much as Sheamus and Gunther was, a match that you knew it was going to be a ground and pound kind of match.
Yeah.
For me, I love Ospreay. I've been, watching him since day one. But with Cassidy, it's can he put up? Can he go one-on-one with, in my opinion, the best wrestler in the past 5 years? Can he go one-on-one with Ospreay? And it's just holy shit, he tore down the house. They tore down the house. The pay-per-view is a moment of the year, but again, we'll get to that. But it's just, I don't know. Did you watch this? Did you catch the highlights at least?
So I did catch the highlights. Full disclosure and everything. I have yet to watch a full AEW pay-per-view live because I'm a cheap prick that doesn't want to pay the money for it.
Hey,
so I caught it. I caught it after the fact. Finding the streams and whatever, and caught it that way. And this was one that didn't make my 5 necessarily that I narrowed it down to, but it was on my grander scheme kind of list here.
Pro says it best.
It was.
It takes is LOL laughing. It is funny, but it does take your breath away. It's like, oh my God, I want more. And that's what they did. They delivered. And it was just, again, being there live. I think maybe that's why it was number one, because I have a few of my favorite matches that I've seen, top 5 favorite matches.
Right.
And I was live for those. So I guess the live aspect, Keith, it's kind of like, you're there with the boys, you're drinking, you're having fun. It's, away from the wife. You're in Chi-Town. You see Banger, Timmy, Danny, Brett. It was just a good time overall. And I think that's why it's number one. If I didn't see it live, maybe not. But
I see. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't there live, but it was still on that list for me because it was, I think,
and could you
it
tell?
was such a cool fucking story of like Ospreay comes in, like you said, Ospreay is like, he's arguably the best wrestler in the world right now. I know, and I only say arguably, and I'm not saying that I don't believe that he is. That's not why I say arguably. I say arguably because I understand that it's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine.
He's not on the USA TV as well.
Right, exactly. So, like, he's arguably the best wrestler in the world.
So was I.
And, like, on top of that, you have Cassidy, who is, like, someone who is on American television, who is pretty over with this, like, gimmick of him just, like, like, whatever. But he does have the whole gimmick is like he's that way, but then he can kick it into a high gear, and it's like, okay, but
how
he does
high?
That, he kicks it into the high gear. Exactly. Can he get high enough to get to the Ospreay's gear? And when he does, can Ospreay go even higher? And they did. They both did. And it was, Yep.
Dude, I was so hot on Ospreay or Cassidy after that. I wanted them to strap the title on the kid. I mean, it was just like, holy shit kind of moment. Before we get to the next award, let's talk about other matches. I mean,
of course.
Do you have any that come off? Let's hear it. Let's hear a few.
So I had this is another one. I just rewatched it today because I forgot I still had it on my DVR. Blood and Guts 2, JAS with Blackpool Combat Club, Eddie Kingston, Santana and Ortiz. I love Eddie Kingston. I'll love Eddie Kingston until the day I die. If I ever met him and he told me I'm a fat fuck that he hates, I'd be like, cool, I love you still. Bye. Thank you, sir. And like just when he comes in at the end with the kendo stick and just whacking motherfuckers, and then I think it's Garcia tries to get him and he gives him one and he's gonna move on, and Garcia holds and he's like, are you kidding me? Are you? And just beats him. Almost everybody bleeds. I also love 2.0. I know I'm in the minority on that. I have loved 2.0 from when
they were
1.0 originally back in Chikara when they were Everrise and NXT. I have an Everrise shirt. It's like one of my I have an Everrise shirt. I have the Everrise rule shirt. It's a weight loss goal shirt because I bought it and it didn't fit. And I'm like, I'm going to keep this and I'm going to lose weight like a fucking
I have a shit ton of those kind of shirts.
Love
too.
It. Like they're great. So like seeing the promo that came after that of Daddy Magic. I don't know if anybody's seen that. If you haven't, go Google it right now. Come back to us after you watch it. That's fine.
Yes.
It's incredible. Him just caked in blood, screaming about him, like eating shit, like getting his ass beat and still losing. And how he missed his kid's first. There's so much emotion. It's so good. Eddie whipping out a bottle of alcohol. Yeah, too much on that one. But I also had Cody and Seth Hell in a Cell, Sammy Knoxville at WrestleMania, Hangman and Danielson, the first one, the 60-minute draw. They were that was my 5 that I narrowed down to. But I mean, like you said, there's MJF, Punk, Dog Collar. Shit. Stop me anytime here.
I mean, you brought it up. Cody, Seth, Hell in a Cell, just the story right then and there. Becky and Belair at Mania 38. Okada, Ospreay, MJF and Punk, the dog collar match.
Yes.
FTR, Briscoes. We could go on and on. Let's see what else we got. Roman and Seth at Rumble is kind of underrated for me. I really love that match. I think it's just because, the glory of the Rumble match,
right?
That's kind of, takes a backseat. It's on the back burner. I'm in love with the Profits and Usos. They're kind of like the New Day Uso feud. I could see them. That was at Money in the Bank. And Knoxville and Zayn, as much as you're going to, maybe not you personally, but people knocking the match because it really wasn't, a wrestling match. But, disbelief. Sit back, enjoy the match. That's what it was. It was just something, you will never see again. And it was, it had its botches. I was going to pick that one with the mousetrap. But at the end of the day, it's fun. That's what it's about too.
That, like I said, that one came real close. It's on my 5 here. That was real close that I was going to go for, because I loved that match. It's one of those, that's like one of those things when it comes to like IWC wrestling opinion and all, even though we're like a big part of that. Cornette hates everything, and that's whatever. He can die a miserable old man like he's going to, and that's fine. But like fucking after that, like a little bit after the match was when Sammy was on the Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold, and Stone Cold was like, dude, I loved that. That match was awesome. Like it was
that's
so
what
good.
It's about. Yeah.
Sammy, it just, to me, that match, like he was already solidified, but it just like further really fucking solidified Sammy in my mind as one of the best of all time.
Yeah. And I think
sold his ass off for him. When he takes the fucking, what was it, the FU or the Death Valley Driver from Wee Man on the outside, I was like, that's just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I mean, key word here, loyalty. KO, Sammy, pretty much main event, WrestleMania. Let's say that. Those moments, it's just something special. And maybe this, launched them into the bloodline. I don't know how many years, how many months they, right in advance. You hear it's they plan a year for Mania. I don't know. New regime again. It was that WrestleMania, had a lot of moments. Let's say maybe the matches weren't great, but the moments were something special. That's a perfect segue, Keith. Let's get to it.
Yes.
The moments of the year. Yes, sir. The moments of the year. A lot of good, a lot of bad. Let's start with the good here.
Yes.
Let's get to your boy. Let's watch it and then let's review it.
Where's Eddie? He's got a can of gasoline. What the hell is wrong with that man?
Yes. Keith, let me stop you. Let's throw it to the Yapper Dapper, and then we'll talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, shit's about to hit the fan.
This is anarchy in the arena.
Yes, sir. It's on a lot of lists for best match, but we're talking about the favorite moment. Keith, let's hear it, brother.
I mean, I just gushed about Eddie Kingston, and then you watch that clip. Do I need to say any more? But watching that clip, guy walks out looking like he's a fucking Mad Max extra with a gas can in his hand. This is wrestling. This isn't a movie. He comes out with a gas can. I understand. Oh, it's all fake. Blah, blah, whatever. Just that visual, man.
Yeah.
Like
it does something.
It like I literally have like some goosebumps underneath my shit now. I loved it. I loved it. I understand. I'll get some shit on. I'll get some shit on for that, and that's fine. You like your wrestling the way you want to. I'm gonna like mine the way I like to. Just him almost like zombie walking, like that's the look of a dude who just went through war and hasn't died yet. It's just like, I'll die right now. We'll both fucking burn. Let's go.
Yes. That's his character. That's
absolutely
his persona. That is Eddie Kingston at its finest. And it's just like, maybe the random Joe, the jobber, you can't believe if he's doing something similar to Eddie Kingston. But with Eddie Kingston, it's like, I believe that. I believe he would go through hell and back, walk down the ramp with the gasoline tank, bleeding out of every single, bleeding like a mofo. It's just like, that's my kind of wrestling. And, you take it for what it is, and that's
I
Eddie
think
Kingston.
I think a big part of it for me was it was one of those things that like, it was just such like a natural like escalation with stuff. Because like I said, I had Blood and Guts 2 on my list. And Blood and Guts 2, he whips out the bottle of rubbing alcohol when he first gets in there looking to pour it on Jericho's wounds. Like that was already to me like such a unique spot. I was like, I haven't seen that anywhere else in wrestling.
Fun.
Like you got cuts on you, I'm gonna dump fucking rubbing alcohol on you. We've all been there. We've all had a nick on our face and gone, oh fuck.
Yep.
Fucking Home Alone, it miserable. So then it was like this was just the escalation to it. He's it's a harder match. It's been more of a war. Rubbing alcohol didn't get the job done last time. Fuck you. I'm getting a can of gas. And I'm going to light you on fire. Yeah. I'm done.
That's
done
Eddie
with
Kingston.
You.
Signed, sealed, delivered. That's Eddie Kingston at its finest.
Yes.
And, that's, you're not the only one thinking that is a great moment. It's fun to be a wrestling fan. You got so many options, AEW, WWE, Impact. But for me, Stone Cold returning.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be on the top of the list. Let's hear it. Let's watch it.
The pop,
and we'll get back to it.
He has shared the field with the touch. Oh no! Stunner!
Yes, Cole McAfee.
What a sell by McAfee.
For me, we're talking about a lot of people, a lot of wrestlers that A, I grew up watching, and B, that I'm just such a fan of. KO, Austin Theory, Pat McAfee, Stone Cold. I'm going to say his name, Vince. He is the reason why I'm a wrestling fan, but we don't have to get into that. Yeah. It's just, that's what you want. Again, that WrestleMania, not a lot of great matches. I mean, yes, we'll go back to the women's match, but at the end of the day, even the wrestlers, even the boys in the back say it's all about the moments. And I think it was Davey that brought that up. They don't do wrestling. It's all about the moments. It's about that kid in the front row saying, Mom, this is effing awesome. And that's what it was for me. I was a little kid watching that WrestleMania. What are you doing? Another Capri Sun?
I'm addicted.
Yeah.
Just trying to not have my rapper be too loud. My bad.
I'm cutting a promo here. Come on. At the end of the day, yes, I love reality-based wrestling, but also when it comes to my man, we're sponsored by Capri Sun. That's what I want. Let's hear it. I've talked a lot. Your boy KO was in the match. Let's hear how give me your thoughts.
So this was one of those like moments. It was like Punk's return. Like it was like one of the worst kept secrets in wrestling. Like, months before anything, like he actually Owens even called him out. He just started shit talking Texas. Everyone was like, well, Stone Cold's coming back. Stone Cold's going to come back.
Yeah.
And I think that moment, it was a moment. That was one of the ones that made my list with stuff too, because we all knew he was going to come back, but it was advertised. The segment was he's coming on the KO show. So it's like, okay, cool. He'll come back. He'll do his thing there. Huge pop for him to come back into it. He's going to drop a stunner on KO. Awesome. Yep. That's going to be great. Like that was all I thought even. I was just like, it's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome to see. It's going to be awesome to hear the glass shatter and hear the crowd roar for him again. We all love hearing that. He's going to come out. He's going to stunner KO. That's awesome too. Going to be great. And then but there was more. Like then it just kept going, and I'm like, what? There was more. What? Like, Austin took a fucking floor bump. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah. This is the guy that had to retire because his neck was all fucked up, and he's like, nah, I'll just take one on the floor. KO's safe. It's fine. Like, Christ, talk about like giving a fucking seal of approval, man. Like Stone Cold, the guy that had to retire because of injuries, goes, yeah, no, you're good, kid. Throw me on the floor. It's fine. I know you got me.
And I feel like
and Owens did. He was great.
Yeah, and I feel like we're kind of similar here with the people that were in the match. I mean, you saw Theory when he was a young and up-and-comer on the indie scene. KO, I mean, Stone Cold. These are the people that I'm cheering for every Monday. Or, if, another match for Stone Cold. He's been, working out. Those are the things, again, moments. Yeah. Let's discuss not just these moments, but overall good and bad. I mean, yes, there's a lot of bad. Off the top of my head, Keith, Vince retiring. That's a big moment. It doesn't have to be a favorite moment, but that's a moment. What do you got?
Yeah. Like you crush it there. You can think it's good, you can think it's bad. Whatever your opinion on its goodness or badness, it's literally an industry shifting moment. Yeah. It's history. That'll go down. That is a piece of wrestling history that we all got to live through.
Yeah.
Just seeing that tweet pop up from him of just like, I'm going to retire now. And all of us just like, what?
Yeah. Is it hacked?
No one ever thought that was happening.
No,
everyone and their mother was like, exactly. He's not going anywhere until he dies. And then it'll be this power struggle for whoever's supposed to take over. And, the circumstances surrounding it, we're not going to get into those, but it happens. It's like you said, good, bad, or whatever you think of it. That is a moment of wrestling history that will literally go into wrestling history books, whoever's writing those.
Yeah. I'm just going to name off a few.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe returning to Ring of Honor.
Oof,
Tony Khan announcing that he purchased Ring of Honor.
Also
Austin
history.
Returning. Your match, Gunther and Sheamus. That is a moment. War Games taking center stage at Survivor Series. Logan Paul doing the impossible.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal. Again, Vince retires. Ric Flair's 8th, 9th, 10th. Okay, last match. We'll believe that. Let's see. Oh, another moment. These are the moments we don't think of, but it's just so many. the WWE returning to a UK stadium show in over 30 years.
That's huge.
Punk and the Elite getting suspended.
Scrum. The media scrum in general.
Yeah.
That's another one that you think it's good or bad. That was the thing. We've never seen anything like that because we haven't really seen media scrums until AEW, but that happened. That's another piece of history.
The one, the only, the guy on everybody's list, if you are a huge WWE fan when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of WWE, Undertaker finally taking his place. Should have been a wing, but we'll get there another day, another time. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Again, good and bad. Another bad one. Banks, well, I don't know if it's good or bad.
Right.
Banks, Naomi, walking out. Whatever happened,
all of that is still such a mess. I still don't understand. Every day it changes. Every day now it is. It was like it happened. It was whatever. No one really talked about it, and now it's been like the last month. It's like every other day. It's like, well, she's done. Well, she's just going to do a couple New Japan dates, but no, she's gone. AEW is going to sign her. Like, just wild.
What I thought was really underrated was Baker and Cole winning the
Owen Hart tournament. I totally
that was really
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes, that tournament was really cool. You know what? Whatever the politics are, we don't know. But just to honor Owen Hart like that, it's really cool. And it's not the WWE, which is something that just makes it a little more special.
For sure.
Let's see. Oh, the event that I went to, Forbidden Door. First time that we've ever seen something like that. AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Really cool. Again, there is good, there's bad, there's the ugly. But on the top of our list, Eddie Kingston, Stone Cold returning. Mm-hmm. It's a year that, we won't forget, good or bad,
That's right.
Yeah.
Been a lot going on this year. We said that to start.
Let's get to the next award. Here we go. Yes, sir. Favorite comeback of the year. There was a decent amount, more than you would think for 2022. But it wasn't. You can't compare it to, when AEW had the first 2 years and it was debut after debut after debut. But 2022, go ahead.
I will say on that point, just because I want to touch on that what you said, I did see this graphic. I think it was either earlier this morning or yesterday. Somebody posted it on Twitter of it was just a block of all the signings they did just this year. What's it called? The blah, blah, blah is all hashtag all elite.
Yeah.
It was fucking staggering. They signed a lot of people this year. A lot of people happened this year.
Yeah.
But sorry, continue. I didn't mean to step
no.
that. That was a thing that wilded out. Oh, there he is.
Here he is. He's making his presence for the first time. And for that, we'll give you this. Yes, sir. Keith, that is your number one. Let's hear it, brother.
So this was another one of those ones that it was kind of tough for me because of all the signings and whatnot in AEW. But when I narrowed it down to my three, I was in between. It was Cody. This was another one of those we just kind of talked about with Austin. It was one of those kind of worst kept secrets. We all kind of knew it was happening, but it didn't. Knowing it going in didn't change a goddamn thing. When you first heard the wrestling has it wasn't even he didn't get through the sentence, just wrestling has, and it blew up. The fucking crowd blew up. And then the shock of it all too, of him still having the neck tattoo branding, him keeping his AEW song, his AEW theme is now in WWE. I don't know how that all works out. They paid money for this and made it happen. It was I loved the moment of it itself, and I think for me it was my favorite because of the moment itself, but also because of the ripple of it all. This is this isn't not to talk shit on them or anything, but this isn't Swerve joining AEW. I love Swerve. I'm not trying to talk shit on him, but that's not a huge monumental thing. He got cut from WWE. He went there. This was, and it's not. This isn't if. I'm struggling to think of a good one. If QT Marshall showed up in NXT, it'd be that guy, that's cool. Look at that, crazy. Someone came over. This was an EVP. This was an EVP
it's a big deal.
of AEW that just here he is at WrestleMania now. what the fuck? This was equivalent to Hogan in WCW. Like,
oh shit.
I'll take all the gunfire for that. But that was in terms of where we are now. It was a similar sort of like monumental thing. It was just like, here is this guy. He was the face of starting that new company that was the biggest competition to WWE. And now here he is in WWE.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
I think for me, that was number one as well. I mean, we're going to get to the other comebacks, but let's look at mine and then we can discuss it.
Welcome to
Yes, no more copyright. I think we're going to get it, but it doesn't matter. This was fun. This was worth it. For me, him coming back, and this is, I said it throughout the whole entire stream, reality-based wrestling is my favorite. This was legit, Keith. Yeah. This was reality. This was just this. This was, for me, the comeback of the year because he just, oh my God, NXT. Black and gold. That's my shit. That's the shit I love. And then he's gone. And then what they do to NXT with HBK and the tie dye and the colors. And it's just like, oh man, I want him back. Again, moment of the year. There's a lot of good and bad. Vince is gone. Triple H steps in. For me, it's not that he is making a comeback to be creative control and the team captain. It's just that what he went through, is something that is, life-threatening. And we know that. I mean, it was something with his heart. It was something with his body. And it's just like, God damn, if it could be any truer than this, it would be Triple H returning, not at the Rumble, not at MSG. This, for me, was my favorite comeback. And I'm not a huge fan of Triple H, not a huge fan of Hunter, or as Ivan would say, Paul, because Ivan first name basis for everything.
Yeah. They go way back.
I love you, Ivan. I'm just joking.
Ivan's got the point picture.
Yes. It's just like, come on. This is it, right? Like, this is the cream of the crop, brother.
Hell yeah. Well, talking about, monumental like shifts with stuff with Cody. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a similar situation, I should say, with Triple H. Because, at the time when he first came back, okay, we didn't really know what it was going to get to. Still a big deal because it was just awesome of oh, sick. Like, he's healthy again and he's here again after all this stuff about him just being backseated. And there he was again. And that was awesome. And then, but what came from it now? Fuck, guy's got it. He's it. He's the guy now.
Yeah.
Him and Keith, Stephanie.
Let's talk about other comebacks. I mean,
yes.
Cody, number one, is on the list. I don't think anyone will discuss that with you or think otherwise. Honestly, I mean, why not? Bailey returns. She has a comeback. Gargano. It was a big moment for us, for the fans that were fans of the Black and Gold brand. It's like, okay, we didn't know what he was going to do. There was a lot of rumors about him in AEW. Cross, your boy, he returned. It is what it is.
We'll talk more about him later.
But it's a comeback. Kenny Omega returns. Something huge. And
MJF. I had him on my list. The MJF thing after the
I feel like
there.
We don't talk enough about him throughout the stream, but he's just, I mean, everything about 2022. It's MJF, but we don't want to be so obvious and say that, best promo obviously goes to MJF, but when we're talking about different things, why not? And then Sriracha, Paige, she returns, come back. It's just like, we never thought it was going to happen. Again,
Bray. I had Bray on my list too.
Yeah. Bray, yes.
I had Bray on my list. I had him on the list. I went against. Bray. I forgot about Saraya.
Yeah, Sriracha.
Until you just said it there. But I had Bray on there. The only reason I didn't go with Bray, I'm sorry, Isaac. The only reason I didn't go with Bray was because for me, the Bray comeback was so much more the build-up and the actual moment of comeback versus anything else that kind of came after it. Like, Cody came back, huge thing from it. Hunter comes back, huge thing from it. MJF comes back, huge shit from that. Bray came back, awesome moment and everything, but okay. I'm still kind of confused with what's going on with all that now. I feel like I'm still very interested in what he's got going on there, but it's kind of dragging a little bit.
Yeah,
we were willing to go along with the White Rabbit and follow that story when we didn't know he was there, but now we know he's there. So now give us what we need to know, because it's just this weird.
Give us what we want.
Is he beating up LA Knight? Is he not? Are they going to fight? Are they not? It's okay if they won't, but like, give me something.
Yes, but the comeback. What pay-per-view was that? Summer
Extreme
Slam?
Rules when Bray came back.
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules
that was in Philly.
Yeah.
Just everything about it, like how he returned, with the different camera angles and each family member, it was just like, and didn't that end the show too, or no?
It did.
It did.
It was the end. They did the fight pit. Riddle was celebrating, lights out, and then he's got the whole.
Yeah. Well, that whole thing, that was something special. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot, compared to 2 years ago or 1 year ago, but there's a good amount. And obviously Cody's on the list. H is on the list. Papa H. Let's get to the next award. Here we go.
Acknowledge me.
Yes. The worst wrestler. Hold on.
That's going worst first. There you go.
Let's do
no one pay attention to what we just showed. Yeah.
The wrestlers of the year. Let's go with the best. Yeah. Keith, let's hear it, brother. What do you got?
Moxley and Bianca, baby. They're my man, my best man, my best woman. This was tough. This was probably the toughest one for me out of anything. Because I mean, we'll get into who we were going to pick after all of it here, but I ended up going with Moxley because Moxley is. I don't disagree with you, Ritter, at all. But it's just taking a while. That's all. Anyway, Moxley is AEW at this point. Young Bucks, Kenny. Disrespect to any of them. I love Kenny. I got Kenny's on my desk. I got Kenny right here. Hangman's over here too.
My man.
You know what I mean? Like they're here. I love those guys. But like from when he showed up to now, he's consistently just. I can't really think of like a bad match he's had. I'll be the first one to talk about motherfucker bleeds too much.
Yeah.
That's fine. I like blood in my wrestling.
It's another day, another time.
Exactly. He's been so good with, especially just how seamless all like the nonsense with the interim, not interim. I'm going to get it back now because Punk's gone or isn't gone or whatever it is. Like he just was seamless through it all. And he's a badass. I mean, he's great. Yeah. He topped it for me this year. Everything he did was solid. Yeah. And pretty much everything I just said there, the same can be said for Bianca. She's just been so like I was purposely in this category kind of trying to find people that weren't AEW or WWE. And
something that
was just
MJF,
Exactly. It was just I couldn't do it though. I was gonna try to make a case for Jordynne Grace because I love Jordynne Grace. I'll put her over on every fucking stream we ever do.
Yep.
But she didn't have the most solid year in the beginning. She's turned it around since probably March or so. She's been crushing it, and she's great.
Physically too.
That's what I'm saying. Just all everything. Her whole feud with Masha Slamovich and all, like she's crushing it. Rhea, I have simped over on here multiple times. I thought about putting her, but I'm not fully on board with the Judgment Day and everything she's doing. I'm just on board with her as a person. And in terms of match quality and stuff, she's had some decent matches, but she also started out the majority of the beginning of the year having these random ass tag teams that kept breaking up. She turned on Liv, Nikki turned on her, like all this kind of lost in the shuffle kind of stuff. Bianca's just been Bianca. She did a lot of awesome ass shit leading up to the Rumble. Had that banger with Becky at the Rumble.
Yeah, buddy.
I think I was in the minority. I really enjoyed the ladder match in Saudi Arabia with her and Bayley. I think Bayley should have won that one still, but that's because I predicted it and I just felt there could have been more from that. But
you know what, too?
I wasn't mad she won.
Yeah. You know what, too? I had to pick Bianca.
Yeah.
I tried to be different with, the match of the year with Ospreay and Cassidy. But with the rest of the year, female, it's got to be Bianca because she was consistent and constant throughout 2022. And it's that not underdog story, but it's that person you can root for. And then again, we'll go back to what she does, outreach, the community, all, things like that. That's what you want as a champion. Maybe she's getting stale. Like you said, maybe Bailey should have went over with the golf cart and all that bullshit. But at the end of the day, this is what you want as your champion.
Yeah.
Consistent on the mic, in the ring. She looks gorgeous. She's just that, she is the people's champ for the women's division. And you can't say anything about that. I mean, you can go back and forth about, is she great in the ring? Is she, she's decent on the mic, but at the end of the day, 2022 was Bianca.
Absolutely.
For the women's division.
Yes.
But if we're talking about overall, Keith, my man, Roman Reigns, we the ones. Dev, if you're watching, woo! Why not? I mean, how can you overlook this guy? Yes, MJF had a great year. Punk had a good year. Mox had a good year. But at the end of the day, who is moving the needle? Who is making history?
He had a shirt to use needle mover.
Let's hear it, Keith.
No, I can't disagree with you. He
is constant.
I don't know even whether there's to say like it's the proof is in what a turnaround with like stuff has been. Like when Brock was the champion and like wasn't around and wasn't defending it all the goddamn time, we were all up in arms like this is bullshit. This is stupid. This is bullshit. Roman, I'm not going to say he's defended the title a lot. He has defended it a lot more than Brock did in that time frame, but like it's still kind of like a similar vibe, but he's been there still on most weeks to put the work in and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's been great. I've said it so many times before with Roman. This is what all of us wanted from Roman when they were trying to shove him down our throats.
Yeah.
Like this could have all been so much more glorious for him so much earlier if you just let him do this back when we wanted it to happen originally. I'm glad it's happening now. I'm not complaining, but the guy's a heel. He's meant to be a heel. The babyface suffering succotash horse shit is just that,
Keith, it's like the Ringmaster with Stone Cold. I mean, it's just evolution,
Yeah.
That's what you get with this. And you know what? Yes, he might have it in his blood, but it takes time. I mean, look at Dwayne's daughter. She's just in the group. We haven't seen her wrestle. It takes time. But if you're talking 2022, I mean, just even the matches. I know we can go back to the matches with him, and it doesn't have to be great, and he doesn't have to be amazing on the mic, but consistency and constant is what we got here with Mox, is what we got here with Bianca. Yeah. It's what we got here with Roman, and that's what you want. Maybe he's under the Andre role where you don't have to see him every single week on SmackDown or Monday nights, but he's got to be the wrestler of the year, and in my opinion, the wrestler of the decade.
That's the thing, though. It's like we do see him pretty much every week. We just don't have to see him wrestle every week.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's made it even better. Is it's almost like he's just becoming this like boss, where he's just like, I have the bloodline around me. If these pillars start to fall and shit's going south, like I'm gonna pop my shirt off, put my gold glove on, and I'm gonna come whoop your ass. And Keith, that's exactly what he's done every time, and it's been so good.
And you said it right there, the bloodline. I mean, yes, Roman is consistent. Yes, Roman is kicking ass. But to have the bloodline and that kind of story behind him, it's just like, wow. Sammy, Jimmy, Jay, I mean, just everything that's involved. Paul, I mean, these storylines, yes, pushes him into the forefront of the rest of the year. Yes, he backs it up with in-ring and, on the mic. He's not the greatest, but he is there when it comes to 2022. Wrestlers of the year.
I don't mind. Yeah. I like him on the mic now that he's a heel. I hated him on the mic as a face because it was you could hear the line, you could hear the lines of script in his head when he was a face. Now he might be scripted, but because of his demeanor and shit, he just has it now. He didn't have it when he was a face, but he has it, all of it now.
Oh, he is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get to the worst wrestlers of the year.
Surprise.
I'll take this one. I'll start us off. Ronda, let's go with females first. Ronda, yes, she is intimidating. And we talked about that during the debate with Pro on his show, with us on our debate, and all the boys, Justin and Ivan. We all kind of think the same thing, that it's just, she's not it. She is the opposite of Bianca. She is the opposite of Roman Reigns. It's not what we want, and it's unbelievable. And that's what you get here with Ronda. Yes, she's a champion, but it's kind of like, I don't want that. That's not who I want as my champion. She's not the people's champion. She's not what you want as a champion. Her Twitter stuff is outrageous. She's not
her
a
own
good
family's champion.
Yeah. It's like, if you look at it too, it's like she's the opposite of Bianca. And that's why I chose her. Let's hear it. What do you got?
No, I mean, listen, a worse on my little list I was putting together for all this, before we even decided we should do a worse man and a worse woman and a best man and a best woman, I can show it to you right now. That she was up there. That was the first one on my list, was Ronda Rousey.
Wow.
And then I was kind of like, gotta have some, we're professional as shit here. Yeah, I had it and I was like, she's gotten a lot of flack. I'm going to leave that one. Also in the back of my mind, I was like, Nick's probably going to say her too. So let me find someone else here. But yeah, she's, like you said, I've spewed it all out about her. I don't buy it. I don't buy it about her. She's, for everything we just said about how much Roman has it, he's got all of it. Like, Ronda owes more of it back to somebody because of how much she doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I always go back to just like it. Even if what she said in her promos was like decently said, I just hate that I hate her delivery of it. It's just, she just says the same thing. Like, she doesn't cut a good promo, and she says the same thing whether she's heel or face. She just sort of changes her body language about it, and that's it. And that doesn't do enough for me about it. Yeah, like it's just bland. Like, it's the most, it's the lowest common denominator of like being a heel, of like, you people don't but like, okay, great, we don't, cool, next.
Yep.
Keith,
let's hear it. What do you got? Who's yours? Who do you have?
So like I said, I didn't want to go with Ronda, so then I did some like deep diving and stuff, and I went with the bunny. I don't hate her.
No.
Nothing hate there. Not the same way we have hate for Ronda. But I feel like the bunny has had some good matches and good years. I don't remember. I think it was last year. She had the one where she had the full fucking crimson mask from somebody she was fighting with. I think it might have been
Tay, or Ty.
It might have been Ty or Anna Jay, maybe. I don't know. But she's had some solid ones. It's just this year hasn't been it for her. And I really went with her as worst because, like, can anybody tell me a match she wrestled this year that they remember in her head that like they not even do they remember as a good match? Can they remember a match that she wrestled this year? Anyone?
No.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of why I went with that. It was just kind of like, and there might be more to that. I don't know, because I'm not a journalist by any means. I'm just a dude who talks on YouTube and stuff. But like, maybe she got hurt.
Yeah.
And that's why we haven't seen her much. And maybe that's what I'm missing with all of this. But she just hasn't had a standout year. So I went with her as the worst woman because it's nothing. Yeah. I mean, in terms of the women that are actually consistently wrestling outside of Ronda, I don't really think any of them have been like horrible. So I kind of just went bunny because she hasn't had a lot that I can remember.
Yeah,
she hasn't, nothing stood out. She's not bad, just nothing has stood out. So she was the worst.
It's an obvious choice, but it's also a good choice because, again, what you said and what I've been saying from day one, consistency, constant. You don't get that with her. I'm going to go with Dom. I love what he's doing. I love that he is in the ring and he is, the next, Mysterio. He is the next one up. And yes, he might have it in his blood, but at the end of the day, he ain't doing it for me, man. He ain't doing it. I mean, Rhea might be helping him. Finn might be helping him. The Judgment Day might be helping him, push along and make it more entertaining. But at the end of the day, I can't believe it. And not the whole thing last week or this week with Asuka and the mist. Yeah. It's just, I can't believe what he's saying in the back. Like, oh, mommy, help me. It's like, dude, I can't. But I'm getting off there. In ring, he needs help. And again, what I'm going to go back to, it's in his blood. It's in his DNA. I mean, come on, bro, put up or shut up. And we haven't seen it. We have not seen it since he started. Yes, we'll give him, the rookie. He is a rookie. He is trying to do his best, but it's in his blood. Yeah. Go to NXT, step up or step back. And I don't see it, man. I don't.
I think you hit it there. He's got it in his blood and everything. He's going to be the next Mysterio and all that, and that's fine. But he's not there yet. And I think we kind of talked about this in the debate and on Pro's podcast and everything. Like I feel like he just got fast tracked because of the name. Like it was. I don't know about what Ray's politicking is like, but there had to have been some part of Ray coming back this time around for the run he's been on, being like, hey, I want my boy to come back with me, and I want him to be with me. Like, I want him to come back with me, not I want him to come into the company while I'm here now. I want him to come up with me. And I feel like he just got kind of fast-tracked before he was ready. Yeah. Like, I think it would have been, put him – we can all know that it's Dominic Mysterio. Put him under, like, a similar Rey Mysterio mask and throw him in NXT for a while so we don't see his baby face and whatever yet. And just – maybe don't even put him in the same mask.
So
put him under some kind of mask. Call him something else,
Yeah.
Not whatever. Mysterio. Like, yeah. Ray not mysterious. Like, whatever. Ron Mysteries. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Scripts. Christ. Like, do whatever, put him, get him the reps though, because maybe he's had some of that training with dad at home and stuff, but it's clearly not been enough and it's not landing.
Yeah. You know what it is too? You brought it up with politicking, Vince, it was still his regime. And you think, you know what? Ray's a legend, bring him back. It'll, sell some tickets, sell some merch. And you know what? Ray's like, you know what? I'm going to bring Dom. And that's what you think. That's the obvious answer there. It's just, come on, man. You need to step up. And I am not going to shame anyone, but you got to step up in the ring and also physically. And it's just not showing. I don't know what it is, man. And it's sad because it's in his blood. It's in his DNA. He is, the bloodline. And it's just, next, maybe, Rhea's helping, but we could go on and on. Let's get to the final award. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my God! No! Wait, let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, that or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Keith, you are the presenter. We have the first ever Duder Award. Keith, let's hear it.
So the Duder Award is it's kind of like a special one of just being given to someone who is not always like standing out too much, but like literally whatever they're given, they kind of kill it when they need to. And for me, it was KO this year. Part of it is, we're never gonna get out of an award sort of thing we're doing where I'm not gonna mention KO because I love him so much. But literally, when you look back on his year, every single thing that they have given to him this year has been great in some way. Starting out the whole Ezekiel Elias thing, literally coming back around this past week. That promo when Elias came up to him and was like, I need you in my corner. And his face is, he could win a fucking Oscar for that shit. Like he was just like, are you fucking kidding me? What? Like, he's just the best. So starting out with that, we talked about Stone Cold already. The build up to it, him coming out dressed as Stone Cold, talking shit on Texas, having that whole thing with him, Austin trusting him enough to be the man to protect him while they go through with all their things they did at WrestleMania. Him stepping in with Gargano when Gargano first came back, like kind of getting in and stepping up with that. Being on the face team in War Games and really like helping solidify like Sammy's turn to the dark side by being like trying to be the voice of reason, like, dude, you're being fucking used, and Sammy being like, I'm gonna punch your dick and we're gonna win. Like I said, coming around again now with Elias after like starting the year with all the Ezekiel shit and trying to prove him wrong and everything. He's just there was all this stuff. I think it was this year, like earlier on this year, when there was like all the rumors, like his contract was kind of coming up, and there was like rumors of him maybe like jumping ship over to AEW. The Bucks were tweeting the stuff about the Mount Rushmore Wrestling, which he used to be in with them and stuff. And like, whatever happened, and they re-signed him. They're getting their money's worth, and then some.
Oh, dude,
the guy just
loyalty.
You can plug him in anywhere at any time in any feud. And not only will he like fit in with it, he'll crush it. Yeah. Like if he was the one, if it had been a thing that if they had been like accepting to intergender wrestling, and when there was all this stuff with AJ and the OC and the Judgment Day, and they're like, well, we need someone to take out Rhea, and they had Kevin Owens come in, that would have been gold. KO would have done such good work with Rhea. He would have it would have been amazing. And just I can picture him in my mind coming out and like being like we're gonna sweet, like just being an idiot of like not fully knowing what he's doing, and then just like whatever. Okay. Just I love him.
Yeah,
he's the one. He was the one. He's the inaugural Duder Award.
I'm just assuming here, but the Duder is kind of that guy, that guy that you can insert anywhere and he will do well. If it's with Roman, if it's with the main event, if it's with, Ezekiel, if it's with Elias, he's there. I mean, even Theory, he put over Theory. I mean, you just put him in these situations and he flourishes. I mean, WrestleMania, loyalty. That's what you get when you stick with Vince, good and bad, ugly, whatever. That's what you get. At the end of the day, it's all about loyalty, and you can see, the cream rises to the top here with Sammy, with the Duder, with KO. So it's cool. I just think that's what you want to be. That's what you want to be as a professional wrestler. In the ring, outside of the ring, he's a great dude. On the mic, he's phenomenal. You can believe in it. It's just like he's the Duder. Dude.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He's just that's like you said, that's what the Duder Award is. It's just like he's the dude. So that's what you call him. Like it's almost like it's the good version of like that promo that Stephanie cut on the Miz years ago of being like the utility player, but like he is, where they're just like, shit, something happened with this person in the midst of this feud that they have to go away now. Fuck. Riddle has to go back to rehab now. Let's plug let's plug Kevin into here, which is exactly what the hell just happened with Elias.
That's the Duder at its
Riddle
finest.
And Elias were going with their
definition.
thing. Riddle has to go to rehab, so they're like, Kev, hop up. And then he did it perfect of just being
Step
like,
up.
How are you going to come to me? We fought for a year. Oh no, we didn't fight. I fought your fucking brother, you dumb fuck. No, I didn't. I fought you. How are you going to come to me? You know what? I will be out there. Fine. Let's go see how this works.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. The guy is brilliant.
He steps in, I
will say also, Sheamus was in consideration for this, but I had to ultimately give it to KO. Yeah, I had to give it to KO.
Dude, the kind of year he had too.
For the year he had, and it was also Sheamus will get like at some point when he eventually retires, he'll get like the Lifetime Achievement Award, Lifetime Achievement Duder Award, because he's been the same way, with minus a few missteps of I'm looking at like the United Nations and when he was like king for a minute and whatever, like his first heel turn with his mohawk and all. Yeah, that was kind of questionable. But the guy has just been he's been great. Everything he does he's been great in a lot of things he's done. But so he was in consideration, but ultimately it's KO.
Yeah, it's just like football, the hybrid player. He steps in, he takes over. Yeah. That's what you want as a quarterback. You want someone that's mobile, and he is, I don't want to say the quarterback, but he is the guy. He is the Duder for the 2022 UW Pod Awards. Keith, phenomenal, man. This was fun. This was a good time.
This was awesome.
Let's talk. We can't go into specifics, but Keith, we got a banger coming up, brother. We got the biggest interview of the UW Pod. I mean, it's just something else. Yeah. And it's weird. Mind-blowing. And you can knock us for this, but in their contract, it specifically says you cannot promote it. I don't know. I think it's it is what it is. But that's just what we do. That's just, if they're going to tell us we can't, we can't.
Yeah, I'm not breaking rules. So
not for this, dude.
Just know that it's gonna be fucking wild.
Phenomenal.
Like lost sleep over it. I'm like, worried about
what is it? Tomorrow? I think tomorrow. No. What's today? Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Friday morning.
Yep.
We record. So banger, baby. Keith, what do you got before we go? Anything? How can the people find you? Let's do that.
Well, you know where to go. Obviously, I'm always tagging everything here with the UW Pod on Twitter at UW Pod. I am also personally on Twitter at Keith of the Ring. You can find us on Instagram at the UW Podcast. I can also find me personally on Instagram at _ Keith of the Ring because some prick took Keith of the Ring. So I have an underscore first. And then obviously online there on uwpod.com, which we just added the link to my old wrestling blog, Work Smart Wrestling. If you feel like a laugh and want to read basically me talking onto paper about some stuff in the past, by all means, check that out too.
Keith, you did it. I don't got to say anything else. Good night. Peace.
Yeah, baby.
And here it comes. Thank you for listening to another edition of the Universal Wrestling Podcast.
Slice that blood up and say.
Check us out on the web at uwpod.com.
You've got mail.
Or send us an email. info@uwpod.com. Universal Wrestling Podcast.
Nobody does it better.